Hey, what's up, Big Nation? This is David Labby with Big Man Fitness coming to you today on May 22nd, 2017. It's a Monday. So, all right, let's just jump right into this. If this is your first time following, my name is David Labby. I'm on a 13-week weight loss transformation journey. I started off this weight loss transformation at 355 pounds. I'm working on trying to lose as much weight as possible healthily, and also reasonably, right? Sometimes certain diets or fads or workout plans go absolutely crazy, and yes, mine was definitely strict and hard, but I definitely don't think that it's unmanageable, especially as I allowed to have like some wiggle room on like what I'm actually going to what I'm doing each day. So for my workouts and everything, and also for my diet. And so far, I've done very good. In 5 weeks, I was able to drop 50 pounds, but then I stagnated for quite a while. And I finally started dropping again. I'm now under 300 pounds. So I'm just at 298. And I'm steadily losing each week. I'm losing another pound to 2 pounds. So I'm not really happy with how things have slowed down, but I lost a pound the first week, then I lost another 2 pounds this past week, and I'm hoping to increase my metabolism because I'm gaining muscle, burning fat. A lot has been changing in my body. My muscles are definitely a lot more developed. So, my chest muscles are more developed, my leg muscles. Also, I have less fat on my body all around, and it feels great. I'm really excited that I've lost this much weight so far. Today is day 79 of the weight loss journey. In 13 weeks, there's 7 days in a week, so 13 weeks is a 91-day journey. It's exactly 3 months. So I wanted to see what I could do with the 3 months. And so far, everything's been doing good. I didn't lose as drastically as what I wanted, right? But I definitely still lost a great deal. And I think a lot of what happened with my stagnation is that I lost a lot of water weight. And also my body wasn't as developed. It was still healing because of the excessive amounts of exercise that I was doing. I wasn't giving myself enough recovery time to really develop the muscles, so that way when you break down the muscle, you build it back up, and that increases the density of your muscle tissue, as well as how much calories it actually burns. So now that I'm really amping things up, and I've been doing, pretty much a lesser program it's more of an alternating program. So I still am doing the extremely high volume on specific days, but allowing lower volumes on other days. Every day I still exercise no matter what, whether it's my original 10 reps for my tag exercises. That works out great for me. But let's just get into this real quick. What is going on for today? Like, how did I feel today? Today was great. I'm not super energetic right now, for a multitude of reasons. But my body is still recovering from my injury as well as my exercise. I definitely have a lot more energy than what I used to have. So usually if I would be tired, I would be drowsy, sleepy, and extremely lethargic. Me being tired now is me just being like more mellow. I have the consistency of my energy has elevated. So now I'm able to last for very long amounts of time, at a consistent rate of energy. Like I'm not doing, extreme output or anything like that, but I can stay consistent. And then there are times throughout the day when suddenly my metabolism and my energy level spikes, and I'll have a good hour, maybe even two, of high performance levels, right? And that has made a huge difference for me, because that is when I try and get my best work done. It's kind of like a physiological state that you feel when you're at an elevated energy output, as if you've had like multiple cups of coffee, that high caffeine buzz that you have for like 15, 20 minutes after a cup of coffee, up to an hour. But then like afterwards, you kind of, especially after your sugar spike, if you compound it with sugar, you rise high for a little while and then you crash, right? And then you would need more coffee throughout the day. You were, like I used to drink a cup of coffee, no lie, iced coffee. I would probably have like at least 3 a day, 3 large iced coffees from Dunkin' Donuts a day. And cream and sugar, or I would go to another one, one that like they make extreme coffee drinks, Starbucks, but then you have the more generic places like there's a place called Dippin' Donuts, Boston Donuts, all these different smaller places that serve specialty coffee drinks that are just loaded with sugar and chemicals, right? And I know people are like, "Oh my goodness, he's talking about chemicals again." There's a valid reason, because if you start looking at what some of these things are used for and why they're used, the ingredients that are in each of these things, it makes you stop and think a second time, how is it that our body processes that, or what types of effects could it have on our bodies? But I digress. Moving forward. Energy output helps with your physiological state as well as your mental clarity and also emotional clarity. Some people are probably wondering what I'm talking about when it comes to emotions. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to what's going on, emotions can be offset. You have hormonal changes that are happening in your body as you start to lose weight, because you're increasing a lot of different, you're waking up a lot of different hormones and a lot of different, you're utilizing things that haven't been utilized in a long time. And it can actually change a lot of things in your body as you start to do, especially extreme weight loss. If it's done quickly as I did it, right, you have some extreme fluctuations. And I definitely noticed that hardcore when I was actually working out. And throughout the day, sometimes I would have these emotional spikes that would just throw me back a loop, where I didn't understand where these emotions were coming from. Because usually I wouldn't, don't get me wrong, everybody gets angry, sad, they feel passionate, they feel super energetic, or, elated and euphoria and all this, like all these different emotions, love. But you usually feel them when there's some sort of natural trigger, right? A behavioral trigger, an emotional trigger. Somebody says something to you. Your wife tells you, "I love you." Your wife does something nice for you. Family. Your parents, mother, father, brothers. I'm trying to give examples of sometimes also feelings of anger. Somebody says something negative. Feelings of sadness. Feelings of despair, despondency. These types of things happen to us naturally. But when our hormones are out of whack, they can cause rapid successions, right? Where something that would normally not bother us or frustrate us, right, would actually trigger something, where we all talk about does the punishment fit the crime, right? Things that would normally be on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the worst offense, to 1. Things that would normally be like a 1 or a 2 or 3 that would just be annoying to you, would suddenly go up to the next tier and they'd be 4, 5, and 6, right? Or even, sometimes a 7 or an 8, where you're suddenly really upset and you have and that at least, and hopefully in those moments, I was able to have enough clarity to understand that what I'm feeling right now is not normal and is not a part of what's actually happening in front of me. So I would be very, very I would be wary about my responses and I would be, I would just try and be kind. I would try and be as kind as possible. I mean, that's my usual, default anyways. Try and, be conscientious of how the other person is feeling. Put myself in their shoes to see what they actually want. Am I understanding what they're truly wanting, right? I found that developing these types of relationships has by far helped me throughout my entire life by just being compassionate and kind. And really, that has saved my ass in the past 2 months so much. So many times I've been so bullshit or so pissed about everything. just to be honest with you guys, just to be honest. There was just so many small things that were happening that I got so upset over, and I knew that I was just viscerally mad or really, sad or depressed about something, I'd be really excited about something, and I would literally have to check myself every single time. Like, is this a normal response? Is this a normal reaction to the circumstances in front of me? I know that sounds weird to you guys, and it may. Some of you who have never experienced any type of severe emotional upheaval, whether good or bad, depends on what you view good and bad as well, but it makes a huge difference. So really honing in on what my normal baseline was for emotion, and then kind of being able to identify and compare. There we go. That was the word that I was looking for. Be able to have a comparison about what I'm normally at, and then where I was right now on the scale of 1 to 10 for everything. I was just really wondering, okay, why am I feeling this way? Is it because I'm just having, an emotional spike, some sort of upheaval or something like that? Or is this something that I'm legitimately feeling right now because of my personal core values, my beliefs, or my or the level of the relationship that I have with the person? And believe me, there was just so many times that I wanted to literally just tear somebody apart, because it would be viewed as some sort of verbal slight or something like that. And it's horrible, because my buddies and I rag on each other all the time, because we're always saying something stupid to each other on purpose, because that's our relationship. It's funny, you try and get a rise out of the person, or something stupid. I know that sounds horrible, but when you have friends that you've grown up with your entire life that are like brothers to you, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So, all right, I just hit past the 13-minute point. I wanna leave you guys with this. You will have your ups and downs in everything in life, right? But it's up to you to keep yourself under control, and it's up to you on how you respond. It's the same way with my eating. And that's how I started to learn to be better about my emotional eating as well. I would get upset, and I wouldn't even understand. I would try and understand, say, I'm not really that upset, right? On the inside, though, how you how you felt, because there's how something immediately makes you feel, because you're conditioned to it, and there's the second response, which is how you're trying to condition yourself to feel something. If anybody understands behavioral psychology, they'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. If not, then it's just the basics of, okay, I originally started, I would feel, upset about something, due to a set of circumstances, and now I want to feel a different way. So whenever I would get upset, usually if I was angry or confused or saddened by something, I would emotionally eat. Even if I was just trying to think through a problem, it would just be so easy for me to go out, grab some cupcakes, go throw something on the grill, sit down, have some chocolate milk, or iced coffee, or bottle of soda or something like that, sit in front of the TV, de-stress for a while, get back to thinking, then take out my notebooks, have some chips, have some other like major snack cakes or something like that, and just sit down and pound away at like whatever it was that I was problem solving, and I would just stuff my face, and I would gorge, and it would be horrible, absolutely horrible. And then I would pass out afterwards. That's basically it. It would be a smorgasbord of me just doing whatever I wanted and thinking that I was being productive, extremely productive. I'm more productive now than I ever have been. My mental acuity, it's better than it ever has been. I mean, I feel so much better now that I'm in a healthier state. And I'm not saying that, like every person's, it depends on how your body reacts to things. Some people, they like their snack cakes. That's fine. Like I'm not here to tell you that you can never have Twinkies again. I recommend against it. But, like I know that there's going to be a day sometime in the future that I'm going to have another piece of cake, that I'm going to have, I'm finally going to allow myself to enjoy something. Because right now what I'm doing is trying to condition myself to understand that there is a difference between binging and having control of my emotions, because that was the biggest thing, is that I would go to food as a thinking cap. I would go to food as an emotional dampener. I would go to food as an emotional heightener. Like, we celebrate, we get food. We something bad happens, we get more food. Something horrible happens, you end up getting food. Like that was like, or you're working, better get some food so you can keep on working, right? Like that was the norm. Everything surrounded food, like, and my eating habits started to be a part of that, and then my emotional habits as well. Everything I turned into was about food, some sort of gratification response, to instantly allow myself that instant gratification in the moment. And it was counterproductive. Anyway, I hope that this helps somebody out there, because sometimes my rants are important. But I wish you guys the best on your journey. Please, if you enjoyed any of this information, hit the like button. And if you have any suggestions or questions or concerns, I'd love to hear some of you guys' stories. Write in the comments below. I'd love to hear about you guys. I'd love to know who you guys are. There's so many of us out there that are on this journey. Let's stick together, because we can all, I've learned from so many people throughout the years, and I still learn from so many others just by having conversations with them, being able to watch their videos and their content. It's been important to me. Sometimes I get private messages that have taught me something about myself, something about weight loss, or even just about, the other person that has been important, later on in life. But anyway, be informed, stay motivated. Live big, guys. Who up?